dedication to excellence, self-discipline, enthusiasm, and sportsmanship. We salute the athletes, parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors who make these programs possible. At Adventureland Video in the Landmark Plaza,
Wildcats pregame show for you with Coach Bob Barrett. And Coach, first of all, congratulations on last week's win against Nevada. The team just seems to improve every week.
Bob, really appreciate that. That was our final road trip. You know, we've been on the road for the last 3 weeks, and won't be our final one for the season, but at least it's we get to play at home tonight. And you're right. I think the players are playing a little bit better. Our young kids are starting to become more experienced, and they got 4 games now under their belt. And we just kind of put a whole game together defensively and offensively down there, and got a lot of confidence. I think we're playing with more confidence right now as a ball club.
Well, we kind of lucked out last week as to weather. I don't know how we'll do this week, but it seemed like we just had a little clear area go over Nevada right in time for us to play. And
well, we pulled in down there around 5 and just got unloaded, and it rained for an hour, just as hard as it could rain, and we didn't know if we were going to even be able to have the game down there. And then you're right, it cleared off, and it was really a nice night. And their field took a lot of water, but it drained so well down there. I didn't think the field was really a factor, but it will be one tonight. We've had so much water, as you know, and there's just water on top of water in our game field. It doesn't look it. We haven't played on it for 3 weeks, so it's not really torn up at all, but it will be kind of sloppy tonight, Bob.
Well, the team, as we said, looked good offensively. I think we discussed last week, especially at wide receiver, you were going to go with some young kids. Looked like they did the job pretty well, and you got Plattner back in towards the end of the ball game.
Well, Wade had been sick all week and really couldn't work out with us until Thursday night. We had moved Trent Flannery, our second-team quarterback, out to wide out. David Gilbert came out there and did a nice job, and so we've got a lot better rotation right now in our wideouts. And Trent came up with a great catch, and David was going to make one, got interfered with, and there's a big 15-yard penalty because we went in and scored right after that penalty. But yeah, our rotation and Wade's back really healthy right now and feels good, and we're as healthy right now than we've ever been since the first ball game. We lost Travis for the season, and we miss him dearly as a wideout and a punter, but we've got Chris Butler back, who he has not played one down for us yet, and had a great week in practice for us, and that will give us that great rotation. He can play offensive tackle or offensive guard, plays both sides of the defensive position for us on guard and tackle, so that will give us that breather maybe in these close ball games.
We're able to also towards the end of the game to get Flannery some work in there at quarterback, and that kind of helped.
We really needed that. Trent produced an excellent drive, probably about a 60-yard drive there, and to finish up our last score, and he was with some good people, and that's what we really liked. We mixed in some young kids at that time, but we had a pretty good nucleus of offensive linemen in front of him, 2 good running backs, and he needed that playing time, and we were really happy. We took 2 young freshman quarterbacks and didn't get them in the game, and we told him probably ahead of time that if we got an opportunity where we could play Trent at quarterback, we were going to play him at all that we could possibly play him. And tell you what, he has Trent made so much improvement. People think he's a junior. He's only a sophomore, and we're really pleased with his performance at quarterback.
They also offensively had another good outing from Ron Litchfield.
Ronnie, I tell you what, everyone's thinking about all this speed we got. Ronnie's got some, I'd say, average speed. He doesn't have a great sprinter speed, but once he gets a step on you, and we've been playing so well up front when we trap and counter trap and run the option with Ron. Matter of fact, he was hit on the line of scrimmage and pulled through a tackle, and we got a great block out there by Jamie Davis on the outside, and he broke it up the sideline and was gone. And so he's been a big play threat for us. And Mike broke one that probably had no business in the world to score. We were hoping at that time when we saw it on the film that Jimmy should have audibled out of the call. But Mike took 2 or 3 hits, and we picked up some great downfield blocking, and Mike scored. And then we got Sean. Sean Powers comes in and, runs. He's quick, Bob. He just runs so hard and quick getting in the hole.
Seems like a good second effort runner. It takes more than just one hit to get him.
Yeah, he's kind of a slicer. He spins and turns, and then Jimmy Knox comes in and runs the option again. Super, just super, and So we really have that triple threat, which we need out there. We can run tough inside, and we can take it out, and we threw the ball a little bit better than Jimmy's, even though in the weather, for some reason, for the last 3 or 4 years, we've thrown the ball so much better when it's wet. And we've had a great week of practice throwing the ball, and you know, our kids really believe that we can throw the ball when it's wet, and it's a great advantage to us because as a defensive corner or defensive lineman, you just can't get much rush on them. So we're planning on putting the ball up a lot tonight.
Well, defensively also up until like towards the end of the game when there was a lot of substituting going on and you had a shutout going and the defense looked real strong.
Well, we played well. Robbie Downing came in as a freshman as a defensive corner the last 4 or 5 minutes for us, and we had some young kids in there. We took 9, played 7 of the freshmen, and you know, with their dressing facilities just not large enough to handle all of our kids in a situation like that. We really thought it was going to be a close ball game. You know, I was guessing 12-6, 14-6 ball game. They're big up front. They got a great running back, and Robbie comes in on the one they score right to set up their score. He made a great hit on the kid breaking down the sideline, and Robbie, probably 120 pounds, comes in and makes a great hit, but the kid carries him for another 10 yards. But that's the difference between a senior athlete and that freshman. So we're pretty pleased. We like to hold our opponents scoreless all the time, but we think it's still important to get all the kids in.
Yeah, I'd like to remind you we're here at Nellie's Restaurant at 802 North Commercial, where they have their all-you-can-eat luncheon buffet through the weekdays, and on the weekend the breakfast bar, and on Sunday also a breakfast bar and their Sunday brunch. I'd like to have you come out to Nellie's for some good home cooking, and it is dry in here. Don't see a leak anywhere. It's one of the few places in town. Coach, tonight, big night. It's great to be home, as we said earlier. Finally not have to be on the road, but it's also the first conference game and against a rival in the O'Hara Celtics.
Well, it's just been a great tradition for us since we been playing O'Hara since before they even came in the conference. Tim Day, we were talking, our new coach in the system this year. I think the first year we beat them 2-0. We got a safety on them. It's always been. There's only one time, and that was the year that they won the state. They thumped us pretty good down here in the first round of the playoff games. But like I say, they went all the way through the state and won the state that year. So up to that point, it's been a great 14-13 ball game last year. It's just been that kind of a game. We're really glad to be home, and it's a big one. We talked since Monday. We talked since we've been coming when we came back from the road trip from Nevada. It's conference championship tonight, and that's it. It's a conference championship. We don't think anyone else in the conference can beat them. I don't think they can be touched. They got to make a long road trip down to Tulsa. They play Bishop Kelly down at Tulsa. But when you got a 3-team conference and we come right back and play Ray-Peck, come back and play Warrensburg, well, for 3 weeks in a row, we preach to our kids it's a conference championship. You lose one of those, and you're out. Because right now, O'Hara had a chance, and they played Ray-Peck, beat Ray-Peck, who we think is a contender for it. And so we're really the underdogs and they're the front runners right now. So we think it's a championship tonight.
The reports that I had heard, at least from the O'Hara Ray-Peck game, was that Ray-Peck statistically outdid O'Hara the whole ball game and just kind of had problems right at the end.
Well, they came in at halftime 10-7 and dominated the ball game first half. Ray-Peck came back and threw 2 interceptions, and both of them went for scores. And it just broke the game wide open. Ray-Peck, a lot of people left at halftime up there and thought Ray-Peck would win the ball game. And our scouts, we have really felt, and every time that we've seen O'Hara this year, and we've seen them all, you don't overlook a team like that, and we always scout them every week that we can. And they're a great second half ball club. They were getting beat up there Saturday 14-3 by the Fort Osage, and came back and won pretty convincingly. So they're a great second team ball club.
They what are we going to look forward to as far as are they pretty balanced? Are they going to run the ball more?
Bob, they've been in the wishbone for the last 2 years. It's they've got the big fullback back, the Lemons, and quarterback. We think the only element they miss out of their ball club this year compared to last year is their quarterback. Quarterback was just a great wishbone quarterback, and they miss him dearly. But the other 3 backs back there are playing really well right now. But to us, you got to have a great quarterback to run the wishbone. They'll throw the ball when they have to, period. And they're not going to come out and air it out, and nor will they throw the ball a lot when they're behind. they'll just let you make a mistake, and they'll keep grinding at you, and they'll pop the big one like they did, a year ago up there. They broke 2 long runs, and both of them were for touchdowns. We blocked an extra point, and it ended up 14-13.
You think field-wise, like I say, it's going to be wetter than the dickens out there. Is that going to be more suited to their ball game?
Well, I think with a big fullback inside, I love to win at 7-6, and they can rush him 50 times tonight, and it really wouldn't bother us. We don't think the fullback, their game is the outside game. I think physically we can play with them down inside if they run the fullback a lot. Their big threat is the outside option game like ours. The biggest advantage we think we've got is we throw the ball, and we'll throw it tonight probably more than we have all year, because it's just such a great advantage to you as a receiver knowing where you're going, and the defensive back doesn't. So wet field, I think we have more of an advantage than they do tonight in this game.
Have they defensively, what kind of look are they going to give you?
They're going to come up. When we spread people out, they give us a lot of crazy looks, and they're going to take the throw away. Now, they have for the last 2 years because of Kelly's ability to throw the ball. I think in 4 weeks they've scouted us as much as we've scouted them, and I think they truly respect Knox's ability to throw and to run the ball right now. I think beginning of the season they thought we probably didn't have much of a quarterback, but Jimmy can throw the ball, and so they'll not give us a 9-man front. So they're real physical up front. They're down 4 people, strong and physical type people, and they try to get after you, and we think our trap game will work real well tonight.
Well, we'll look forward to that. It's going to be the big game tonight. Could decide the conference championship, the first home game, first conference game for the Wildcats. Good luck to you tonight, Coach. And again, we're coming to you from Nellie's Restaurant here at 802 North Commercial for good home cooking. Be sure and come to Nellie's. And after these words, we'll be back with the kickoff for the Wildcats versus.
Good evening and welcome to Wildcat Football on Cable Channel 2. Big Jim Mitchell along with Bob Van Meter. And Bob, this is the game that everybody talked about all day, whether it would be played or not because of all the recent amount of rains that we've had in the Harrisonville area. But a few fans have braved the weather. It has stopped raining at this time, and we're just about set for the kickoff of tonight's game. The Harrisonville Wildcats back home after 3 games on the road to take on the O'Hara Celtics.
Well, as Coach Barrett said in the pregame, it's great to be home, but boy, when you look out on the field, there's not much advantage to having a home field advantage in weather like this. And as you said, Jim, the rain has stopped miraculously enough, at least for the time being. But as the teams have warmed up out on the field, it's gotten very muddy, mucky. You can see tracks all through the field. And probably the only good thing about it is that we haven't had to play on this field for 3 weeks, so it's still in good shape before the rain started.
So the Harrisonville Wildcats bringing their 4-0 record into tonight's game versus the O'Hara Celtics. They're 3-1 overall. They've already had a conference game. They're 1-0 in the West Central Conference. So this game very important in the West Central Conference play as the Wildcats want to get their try at being the West Central Conference champions once again this year. Bob, last week we made a comment about you and I really wasn't in the Missouri Sportscasters Weekly poll. And I think we deserve to say a big special thanks to the fans for whoever is responsible for us getting our weekly poll this week.
Yeah, we finally got a ballot. We've been griping about not getting a ballot, and by golly, this week, as you can see, we got a ballot. The nice thing about it is it's really going to be easy for us to pick who we want as the top team, because we really only have one choice. But
well, let's see. Let's go down the list here as we look at it on the monitor. It says, please circle for this week's choice. And here is a choice that says Harrisonville. Next choice says Harrisonville, 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 and then down at the bottom it says thanks, fans. So I think we owe it to the fans that sent us this to make our selection right here on the camera for next week.
Sounds like a good idea.
Okay, I think I'll check the second spot right there.
Well, now see that, Jim, that ballot's going to be illegal because it definitely says please circle this week's choice. So I'm going to circle Harrisonville to make sure that, by golly, they're going to get our vote for first place. And now we need to figure out where do we send them?
Yes. But anyway, we thank you, fans, for getting us on the Missouri Sports Writers Weekly Poll. And we're about set for the opening kickoff. We'll be back in just a moment.
Raining, but now it is. We're ready for the kickoff, and the rain is starting to pelt down pretty hard. The crowd that came into tonight's ball game, when it was not raining, we started getting a pretty good crowd for such bad weather, but they're scrambling for cover and umbrellas and anything they can grab. The Wildcats will kick off to the O'Hara Celtics. Doug Pruitt will kick it off. Back deep. Celtics have Keith Smith and Mark Brown. And the ball game is underway. Low end over end kick that's going to go out of bounds. And it's going to be rather difficult tonight. We don't have any sideline markers, so as the field gets chewed up, the placement of the ball, at least from our vantage point, is probably going to be pretty much impossible to tell. Discussing the penalty right now with O'Hara as to whether they want the ball where it went out of bounds or if they want a re-kick.
The O'Hara Celtics coming into tonight's game with a 3-1 overall record. 1-0 in the West Central Conference. And Bob, the rain is now pelting as if it hasn't done it the past few weeks and months, it seems like.
Seems like an eternity since we last saw a full day of sunshine.
True Wildcat fans watching this game here. Just underway, no score, the West Central Conference game, the O'Hara Celtics and the Harrisonville Wildcats.
Pruitt will try it again. From a little deeper back, the tick comes to Mark Brown. Comes to the right side, he's got some open room, but he's driven down, slides forward to midfield. But they'll mark him where he went down, but appears to be about the 47-yard line. A good return by the Celtics. And as Coach Barrett said in the pregame, we think we're going to see O'Hara just run straight at the Wildcats, and they'll go until they stop them. Quarterback sneak on the first play from scrimmage. Dan Rottinghouse, senior quarterback, carrying the football. Pickup of about 3 yards, make it 2nd down 7. The football into Wildcat territory now at the Cat 47-yard line. The Celtics work out of the wishbone. Now they move Lemons up into the fullback position. And a whistle blows before the play can start. Appears one of the Wildcats was lined up in the neutral zone, so that will cost the Cats 5.
Just underway in the first quarter of play. No score. The O'Hara Celtics coming in off of a win last Saturday, 23-14 over Fort Osage. Fort Osage had a 14-0 lead at halftime. O'Hara came back strong in the second half, went on to win it.
2nd down 1, they give off the left side. A good solid hit put on by Dan Davis on the ball carrier Mark Brown, but it's enough for the first down. The Celtics have the football about the Wildcat 39-yard line. Again, the Celts will work out of the wishbone. They don't have Lemons in at fullback at the moment. The give is to the fullback. Pat Ruby, fullback, carrying the football there for the Celtics. Now Lemons back into the ball game.
The Celtics having wins so far for the season over Center, Ray-Pec, and Fort Osage.
Officials will try and keep the ball covered as much as possible, but that's probably not going to be very possible as this game goes on. As the rain coming down very steady, and I don't believe the weather report is any good news, is it, Jim?
No, it's not. They were forecasting heavy rain off and on throughout tonight.
Option, quarterback Rottinghouse keeps it himself. He goes down as Davis closes. It really looks like Lemons probably had the best shot at carrying the football on the initial give of the option. I think they're going to have a heck of a time trying to go outside on the Wildcats, and pitching the football is going to be especially dangerous. It's third down and about 3 for the Celtics. Give to the fullback, straight ahead, short yardage. The Wildcats close it down quickly. Cass Evans in on the stop for the Cats. And that's going to bring up fourth down. And about 2 yards to go for the Celtics. So a big fourth down call here for the Celtics. Football spotted about the 32. They must make it inside the 30-yard line. Give to the second man through, Brown. He's got the first down. In on the stop for the Wildcats, Russell Hartman along with Ron Litchfield. And Brown hits the hole very hard. Mark Brown, senior running back for the Celtics, as they platoon in with their fullback. Ruby straight ahead for short yardage.
8:17 left in the first quarter play. We have no score. West Central Conference game, the O'Hara Celtics and the Harrisonville Wildcats. The Celtics already 1-0 in the West Central Conference as they won over the Raymore Peculiar Panthers 36-17. For the Wildcats, they're trying for their first conference win tonight here with O'Hara.
O'Hara wants to throw. They're looking deep. It's out there. Incomplete.
Good
Pass
try.
was nearly intercepted, but it went off the hands of Tim Dan. And then the Celtics even had a shot at it as the ball was still up in the air. Mark Bales, the tight end, was the intended receiver. When O'Hara does throw, he is the favorite receiver. So that will bring up third down and 8 for the Celtics. Good hit at the line of scrimmage as Jared Light closes down quickly on the O'Hara running back. And it's going to be difficult already. Mark Brown carried the football, but his jersey already completely muddied. And it appears that O'Hara will attempt a field goal as it's fourth down. Now an official's timeout. Boy, what a nice break for O'Hara. It gives them a chance to set up for the field goal as one of the Wildcats has some equipment problem. But I don't think O'Hara would ever gotten this attempt off had that official's timeout not been called. Bird trying to get in the press box here where it's dry.
Can't blame him.
Long attempt. It's on the way. It's got a lot of leg, but off to the right.
So the O'Hara Celtics in their first try to get on the scoreboard with a field goal. Unsuccessful. And with 7 minutes left on the scoreboard clock in the first quarter play, we have no score in this game being played in a hard, steady downpour in Harrisonville.
Wildcats now with their first shot at the football. They'll start from their own 20-yard line. Coach Barrett really not making many bones about it. They're still going to try and throw the football even though it's wet. Wills comes to the near side. Looks like Hoffman split to the far side. So he had a good view of the telephone pole there. Split backs, knocks on the play action, rolls the near side, flips it out there. It's complete to Jamie Davis. Davis out near midfield, loose football, out of bounds. No, they're going to give it to O'Hara. The football was fumbled forward. But O'Hara alertly falling on the football gives it back over to the Wildcats. And it may be that kind of ball game tonight.
Certainly could be.
Football right at midfield. Good play action pass call for the Wildcats. But that football just very slick. Again from the wishbone. The Celtics have it 1st and 10. Give it to the right side.
As a whole.
Brown. Good hard run. Dan in on the stop for the Wildcats. But they gain down to the 35-yard line of the Cats.
6:20 left in the first quarter. Still no score.
Option near side. Rottinghouse slides forward. They'll mark the football inside. Appears to be about the 35 down to the 33. Gain of a couple. 2nd down 8.
Offense for both units pretty close to being even so far for the season. The Harrisonville Wildcats, 95 points so far, 94 points for the Celtics.
Right side handoff. As the Wildcats again close it down. Luke Morrison in on the stop of Todd Goza. Gain of about 3. Make it 3rd down 5.
Celtics trying for their 3rd straight win here tonight with previous wins over Fort Osage and Center.
3rd down and 5. Ball about the 30-yard line of the Cats. Lemons gets the call straight ahead. And for the Cats, Mark Chamberlain holds on for dear life. Holds Lemons to a gain of about 2. Make it 4th down now. And we'll say 2 yards to go.
Clock running with 4.5 minutes left in the first quarter of play.
Football about the 27. They're going to have to make it right down close to the 25 for the 1st down. It's 4th down now for the Celtics. They give off the left side, and it's just enough for the 1st down. The Cats close down with Jared Light. But it's going to be close enough. They're going to want to bring the chains in, and that'll stop the clock. 4:09 to play. By half the length of the football, the Wildcats have held. On downs, they now have possession of the football. Out of a single back set, Litchfield off the right side has some running room, spins forward, picks up good yardage for the Cats. They'll mark the football out to about the 37, it appears. Gain of about 6 yards, make it 2nd down 4 now for the Cats.
Cats coming off of their win last Friday night over the Nevada Tigers by a score of 30-7.
Again, Litchfield sits in the single back set. He gets the call straight ahead again, runs into a wall. So that's going to bring up third down for the Wildcats. Football about the 34. Third down, one situation now for the Cats, and they need to pick up the first down and get some offensive momentum going here. Keep the defense off the field. Flannery and Wills split to the near side of the field. Two setbacks. Isel gets the call, and he goes absolutely nowhere. In fact, he's going to lose a yard. And that's going to bring up fourth down for the Wildcats. And they're going to have to kick the football away.
So the Cats having trouble moving the ball here in the first quarter of play. Clock running now with just over 2 minutes left in the first quarter. Still no score. The Wildcats bringing in their 4-0 record into tonight's game. Wins over Nevada, Pleasant Hill, Clinton, and Belton.
Knox to kick it away for the Cats. Low snap, picks it up, gets it off. End over end, low kick. Takes a little bit of a Harrisonville roll, but in the thick grass, it's not going to go very far. And O'Hara will take over in pretty good field position. That looks to be about their own 36-yard line.
Looking at the Missouri Sports Writers and Sportcasters Association poll in Class 4A, everybody stayed the same this week from last week. Number 1 slot, Marshall. Number 2, Hillsboro. Number 3, Southwest. 4th, Harrisonville. And 5, Camdenton, all with 4-0 records.
Loose football.
Could it be a break?
And the Wildcats come away with it.
So a turnover and hopefully a good break for the Cats. Here with 1 minute left in the first quarter of play.
And we'll see if the Cats can do something with it. Long count. Knox gives the handoff inside to Isel. Not much running room there. Football moved down, looks like about the 36-yard line. Second down, 9 for the Cats.
You know, football is normally a game where it's thought to be played in any type of weather, Bob, but it's really a shame whenever you think of the potential these two teams have and some of the things that they would not be able to do because of the conditions on the field here tonight.
Very true. It's not like a professional game with the artificial turf and everything. Play action pass, fires the middle.
Yes.
Complete for Wills, and he hangs on.
Beautiful.
Good catch by Mike Wills, as Jimmy drilled it right in the numbers. But that's the end of the first quarter, so we'll be back for the second quarter of action after this timeout. Try and spot the football down here. Looks to be about the 24-yard line.
Starting the second quarter of play from the Harrisonville Mudfield, Big Jim Mitchell along with Bob Van Meter on Cable Channel 2. Wildcat football, there's no score.
Jimmy has him up to the line, 2 wide receivers and a loose football. He picks it up off the ground, goes into the middle, a flag thrown in the middle of the pile. Jim picked up about 4 on the play, but we'll have to see. It looks like the penalty may go against the Cats. When it's that slick out there, I don't see how you can get a holding call because you can't hold on to anything.
Rain continues to fall and has done so since the opening kickoff.
The call is going to be holding against the Cats, and that'll move the football back to the 35-yard line, the O'Hara 35. And the Cats will have it first down and 20.
Cats home tonight after a very successful 3-week road trip. Wins over Clinton, Pleasant Hill, and Nevada.
2 wide receivers to the far side. Give to Litchfield, picks his way up to the 30. And the rain really coming down now. You can see it's just absolutely pouring.
This is the downpour. A lot of area games were canceled tonight. One in particular, Cass Midway, canceled their game. Understand most of the inner city schools up in Kansas City postponed their games, rescheduling for later in the week.
2nd and 15. Knox on the bootleg. In some trouble. Gets back just past the line of scrimmage. And it's going to bring up 3rd down. And about 13 for the Cats.
A good place to eat in Harrisonville. Nellie's Restaurant, 802 North Commercial in Harrisonville. Don't forget about their lunch buffet. All you can eat, including soup and the salad bar. Tea or coffee and dessert for $4 1/4. That's at Nellie's Restaurant, 802 North Commercial in Harrisonville.
3 wideouts for the Cats. They give straight ahead. Litchfield with a little bit of running room. Picks up pretty good yardage. So the Wildcats get that O'Hara defense spread out with a little more room to maneuver. But it's going to bring up 4th down. And we'll say about 6.
9:49 left in the 2nd quarter of play. There's no score.
The Cats will take a timeout, and we'll be back after our timeout.
At Adventureland Video in the
Made their decision. It's 4th down and about 6 yards to go. They have the football. Looks to be about the 20-yard line. Maybe just inside the 20. And once again, the Cats spread out the defense with 3 wide receivers. Litchfield the lone setback. Jimmy on the straight drop. Has some time, fires it out there, incomplete. Pass was intended for Eisel, but just a little bit underthrown. As that football out in the rain gets mighty heavy. And it's hard to get the zip on the football that you can when it's not as wet as it is tonight. The rain's led up to just a real mild sprinkle right at the moment. But we also know from experience that at any moment that could change dramatically.
Rapidly.
Celtics operate from their own 17. Good defensive play by the Cats. Is in there for the Cats, Lonnie Cooper, along with Russell Hartman.
Defense for the Cats has only let up 47 points in their 4 games. Clinton scoring the most points against the Cats, 20 points.
2nd down, 12. Give off to the right side. They've got some blockers out there. Brown down the right side. Litchfield's the last man to have the angle. He cuts it back, and the pursuit catches him from behind. But a big gain for the Celtics, as that moves the football down about the 43-yard line of the Wildcats.
And the clock is stopped with 8:52 remaining in the 2nd quarter of play. West Central Conference game, the Harrisonville Wildcats and the O'Hara Celtics. No score.
Celtics up 1st and 10. Quarterback Roninghouse takes it right ahead. Loose football. The Wildcats fell on it, but they're going to say he was down. Football popped loose, but it was after the quarterback had gone down. Gain of 1 on the play, make it second down now, 9 for the Celts.
Last year, O'Hara finished 3-1 in the West Central Conference and an overall record of 8-2.
Football at the 40-yard line. From the wishbone. Lemons, the big fullback, straight ahead. He's got a pickup of about 3. We'll make it third down and 6 now for the Celtics.
O'Hara in Class 4A with a school enrollment of 790.
Third and 6. Rottinghouse wants to throw, gets it out there, overshoots his intended receiver. That was Mike Farmer. And kind of an uncharacteristic throw in there at third down, and it was going to put the Celtics in a punting situation. Look, Pat Ruby appears to be back with a muddy jersey to kick it away. Left foots it away, low end over end kick. Litchfield having a problem picking it up now is going to be caught way back.
Gonna have to dig in on that one.
That'll be marked back inside the 5-yard line, so the Cats have got about 96 yards to get to the other end of the field. No score here in the second quarter. But the Cats with terrible field position, to say the least.
Looking at the West Central Conference play, O'Hara 1-0, 3-1 overall. Harrisonville 4-0 with no conference.
Give was straight ahead. Mike Eisel, the ball carrier, and he loses a yard. It's going to bring up second down and 11.
Kramer Peculiar Panthers 0-1 in the West Central Conference. They are 2-2 overall.
Two wide receivers out for the Wildcats. And movement. O'Hara had jumped across the line, then one of the Wildcats' offensive linemen moved. But O'Hara was the first to jump, so the 5 will go against them. So that gives the Cats just a little bit of breathing room, moves the football out to probably about the 7-yard line.
Clock now running with 6:19 left in the first half of play. We have no score.
Not much going for the Cats on that carry by Litchfield. They had it 2nd and 7. And it's going to be about 3rd and 7 now.
Need that long drive to spark the offense for the Cats.
Well, it's a tough situation here for the Cats. They really need to be able to throw the football to get out of this hole, but with the conditions that they're playing under, it's extremely risky to try and do that. Little inside trap that's not going to go anywhere. Ron Litchfield gets caught up, and it's going to bring up 4th down. The Cats are going to have to putt out of their own end zone. The rain has pretty much stopped once again. But Jimmy needs to get off a good kick here.
Other games being played in the area tonight, unless they have been canceled. Nevada playing at Ray Peck. The Rich Hill at Cass Midway has been canceled. Archie scheduled to play at Drexel. Adrian at Miami, Butler at Lamar, Holden at Pleasant Hill.
Low snap. Jimmy picks it up, gets a rush, gets off a pretty good kick. Taken on the run by the Celtics, but a good defensive play.
Beautiful.
As Brian Wooten was down on the coverage quickly and was able to wrap up Mark Brown. I think we can probably safely say that Ray Peck isn't playing since all their coaching staff was here. Brian shaken up on the play while the trainer helps him off the field. The 71 highway was closed down between Adrian and Butler. I doubt if they were able, Nevada was able to get up to Ray Peck. Now the Wildcats will take a timeout, so we'll also take a break and be right back. Giving his defense instructions, Coach Paul Montiel, an institution at O'Hara High School, had his shot out on the field. Now the Celtics again from the wishbone. Rottinghouse wants to throw. It's incomplete. They're trying to get the football out to one of their backs. David Williams was on the coverage, but neither the receiver nor the defender even were looking at the football when it was thrown, so that's going to bring up second down. And 10 yards to go for the Celtics. They've got the football at the Wildcat. Appears to be 34. Loose football. The Wildcats may have it. They do.
Beautiful. So a break for the Cats with 4:19 left in the first half of play. Now maybe the Cats can get a drive going and get in for the points on the board.
Jared Light, the man that got that football for the Wildcats.
No score.
Cats on first down, play action. Jimmy under some pressure. He's going to have to eat it. Chris Butler there in the ball game for the Wildcats, 72. Clean jersey. This is Chris's first action in the ball game this season after coming back from a knee injury suffered in the center game last year. Loss of about 8 yards. It's going to bring up second down and 18 now for the Cats.
Last year, the Cats edged by the Celtics 14-13 in a game played at O'Hara.
Single back set. Litchfield on the draw. Not much room there. He'll get out. Looks like around the 28-yard line. The lines are pretty much gone from 30 to 30, and we don't have any yard markers on the sideline, so it's kind of guesstimate as to where the football actually is. Third down for the Cats and about 14.
Need a big drive here.
Knox looking once, pumps, pulls it down, takes off. Got some yardage. So he picks up about 8, but it's going to bring up fourth down as he's short of the first down. So it's fourth down for the Cats and about 6 yards to go.
And just under 2 minutes left in the first half of play. Cats had a 14-0 lead last week at halftime over the Nevada Tigers. Been unsuccessful in putting any scoring drives together here tonight against muddy conditions, rain, and the O'Hara Celtics.
Knox awaits the snap. Good snap, steps up, pops it, good spiraling kick, but there's just no carry. As that football is, I said, getting heavier and heavier, so no return. And they'll mark the football, looks like about the 33 of the Celtics.
For the Celtics, they started out their season with a win over Center by a score of 25-13. Lost their second game to Liberty by a score of 20-10. 2 straight wins over Raymore Peculiar, 36-17, and Fort Osage, 23-14.
Give off the right side. The Celtics pick up short yards. White with the initial hit on the play. Second down, 9, gain of 1 for the Celtics.
Minute 39 left in the first half.
Football at the 34 of the Celtics. They get the pitch off and a loose football. Bounces still loose, but I think the Celtics have it back. As Goza finally getting that football. That just doesn't look like a very smart play for the Celtics to try and attempt out there. They're having a lot better success just running the football straight ahead. Yet they keep wanting to get out wide. And the first half of play comes to an end. Neither team able to get to the opponent's goal line. So they'll head to the locker room and try and dry out with no score. After these messages from our sponsors, we'll be back with the second half. Cats have Litchfield and Powers back deep. And I wonder if the football will carry that far. The rain has stopped completely once again, at least for the time being. High short kick. Litchfield takes it into the middle of the field. Covers it up. And down is about the 35-yard line, just short of the 35. So that's where the Cats will put it into play offensively. They need to get some offense going. They'll spot the football over the 35 now at the 36-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Cats. They're trying to get a chin strap buckle there. Jamie Davis taken care of. Cats started out in a single back set and movement. Split in on the far side. Will cost the Cats 5, 1st and 15.
Looking at penalties in the first half of play, pretty much tells the story of way tonight's game is going so far. No score in the game. Rushing, O'Hara 89, Harrisonville 28. We'll take a look at other stats in just a moment after this play.
Still out of the single back set. Powers gets the carry, lowers his head, bulls forward. Good pickup for Sean Powers.
In the passing department, Harrisonville 3 attempts, 2 completions for 28 yards. O'Hara 2 attempts, no completions. Total yardage in the first half of play, O'Hara 89, Harrisonville 56. First downs, O'Hara 5, Harrisonville 1. Penalties, Harrisonville penalized 4 times for 25 yards. O'Hara once for 5 yards. Halftime score, 0-0.
Pickup of 7 on the previous play, make it 2nd down. As Knox runs the option, gets away down the right side. He's got the first down before he's driven out of bounds. And just good second effort on the part of Jimmy Knox as he was hit at the line of scrimmage, managed to shake loose. And the Cats have picked up their second first down of the ball game, their first of the second half. and have the football now at their own 42-yard line.
With 10.5 minutes left to go in the third quarter of play. West Central Conference game, the Harrisonville Wildcats and the O'Hara Celtics.
Single back set. Give to Powers, hits one, spins around. And something thrown into the middle of the line. It's a flag, and it's going to be a holding penalty against the Wildcats. So just when they get a drive going, penalty jumps up. And it's going to bring up a first down and 20.
Don't forget, here on Cable Channel 2, the sports lineup includes Saturdays beginning at 12:30, Wildcat football. And at 2:30, Wildcat volleyball, followed by 3:30, it's car racing.
First and 20 for the Cats. Heisel goes in motion to the far side. Knocks on the straight drop. Looks to the near side. Pass is complete to Jamie Davis. Cats pick up about 7 on the play, make it second down now and 13 for the Cats.
Looking at next week's schedule, Cass Midway playing at Adrian. Appleton City will be traveling to Archie. Miami at Drexel, Rich Hill at Osceola, and Butler at El Dorado Springs.
Both wide receivers to the far side of the field. Knox looks into the middle, incomplete. Pass was intended for Wills. Pass falling incomplete. It'll bring up third down. And still 13 to go for the Cats. The football at the 43-yard line. Cats own 43.
Eight and a half minutes now left in the third quarter of play. Neither team on the scoreboard as of yet.
And Jim wants to throw. Completes it, but for no gain as Mike Eisel pulled the pass down, had a man right on his back and was hit the moment he caught the football. So that's going to bring up a fourth down, and the Wildcat drive is thwarted. Knox will have to kick the football away. He's in quite a quagmire there, as you can see. Cats need to get O'Hara back deep in their own territory. High snap. Knox gets it away on a pretty good rush. Ball takes a Wildcat roll, but once again, it just dies in that thick, wet grass. And O'Hara still comes out with pretty good field position.
Games left for the Cats this year include Raymore Peculiar on the 17th, Warrensburg on the 24th, Sedalia Smith Cotton on the 31st, and then Fulton on Saturday, November the 8th.
Football appears to be about the 27-yard line. Ridinghouse keeping the football. Light downs him as he slips forward for a short gain. Give him about 1 second down, 9 for the Celts.
Again, the Celtics coming into tonight's conference game 3-1 overall. They're 1-0 in conference by defeating the Raymore Peculiar Panthers 36-17.
Football just shy of the Celtics' 30-yard line. As they break the wishbone, give straight ahead, or on the fake, they try the pitch out and no go. As the Cats read it very well, they had the option played perfectly. Wooten makes the tackle on the pitch man.
Cats defensive unit hanging tough tonight, Bob, as always.
Well, they've certainly got their work cut out for them. They've done the job so far. 3rd down and 11. Butler now in the game defensively for the Cats as Cass Evans limped off the field. Gives straight ahead and no gain there.
Beautiful.
As again the Cats defense closed down quickly. This time it was Luke Morrison with help from Light. 4th down and 10. Celtics in a hurry to kick the football away as the Wildcats not really set. Loose football, and they're going to have to run with it. The Cats are going to have to close pretty quickly to avoid the 1st down. And he's got the 1st down. What a break.
Well, there's a break for the Celtics for sure.
Well, when you get jammed back for 4 downs and have to punt the football and have a loose snap and end up picking up the 1st down, that's a heck of a break. In a tight ball game like this, it can just break your back. It's going to be a big play here for the Wildcats on this series to try and get the ball back.
5:28 remaining in the 3rd quarter of play. We have no score.
Wishbone option gets pitched back, nowhere to go. Once again, well read by the Wildcat defense as each person had their contained man. Wooten making the stop on the pitch. Loss of about 2 yards, make it 2nd down, 12.
Defensive unit getting a fine hand here from the Brave fans that come out on this wet night of football here in Harrisonville.
So again, we haven't had any rain here yet in the 2nd half. From the Wishbone, 2nd 11, gives straight ahead. Short yardage. So the Cats unpile. Lonnie Cooper in on the stop for the Cats along with Light. Gain of about 1, make it 2, 3rd down and 9. For the Celtics, the football spotted at the 45-yard line of O'Hara. And once again, a big 3rd down facing the Cats and the Celtics. Celtics want to throw. Rottinghouse looks out there. He's got his man. It's complete to the fullback Lemons. And it wasn't very pretty, but it was effective. Wooten and Chamberlain on the coverage.
And the Celtics moving the ball little by little against the Harrisonville Wildcats.
Football down now near the 40-yard line of the Wildcats.
Now just under 4 minutes left in the 3rd quarter of play. Big Jim Mitchell along with Bob Van Meter. Wildcat football on Cable Channel 2.
Good defensive play by Butler as he cracked down on Todd Goza, the running back. No gain on the play, make it 2nd down and 10 for the Celtics.
Celtics having wins over Center 25-13, Raymore Peculiar Panthers 36-17, and Fort Osage 23-14.
Again from the Wishbone, they give the right side and a lunging stop. Luke Morrison diving in there, upending the ball carrier Brown before he could get started. In the backfield, loss of a couple of yards. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 12. And again, a big 3rd down. The defense playing some inspired football out there in the mud right now.
The overall school record for the O'Hara Celtics, 79-41-1.
3rd and 12. They want to throw under some pressure. The quarterback's going to have to eat it.
Oh!
Jared Light.
What a super play.
Light was all over Rottinghouse and gave him the body slam back at the 45-yard line of O'Hara. Big loss. That's going to bring up 4th down now and about 25, and O'Hara will have to kick the football, and we'll see if the Wildcats go after it this time. After the bad snap previously.
2:20 left in the third quarter.
Good snap, ball's on the way. Litchfield takes it about his own 20, looking for some room, nowhere to go. He'll be down near his own 30-yard line, but maybe that's the spark that the Cats needed, as the defense did a heck of a job.
Certainly did.
Let's see if it can roll on over to the offense.
Cats still 4th in the Missouri State rankings in Class 4A. 5 teams still 4-0 coming into this weekend's play. Marshall number 1, Hillsboro number 2, Southwest number 3. The Cats at 4th place, and Camden at number 5.
From their own 28-yard line, the Cats have both wide receivers to the far side of the field. Knox inside handoff to Powers. Runs forward near the, I give up, 35-yard line. Gain of about 5, make it 2nd down now and 5 for the Cats. Clock continues to run. Down close to 1:20 left to play in the third quarter. Still no score in the ball game. Wade Plattner in the ball game now. It's easy to pick up those clean jerseys. And once again, the Cats hit a false start. Just when it looks like they're going to get things clicking, they had a penalty nearly every time tonight. 2nd down now for the Cats, and about 11. They've got to shake it off and get the football down the field.
In the first half, Harrisonville penalized 4 times for 25 yards. West Central Conference game.
Both wide receivers to the far side. Knox wants to throw, gets it out there, incomplete. Just overshot Wade Plattner, his intended receiver, going down the right sideline. That'll stop the clock with 39 seconds left to play here in the third quarter.
Don't forget, for a fine place to eat, it's Nellie's Restaurant at 802 North Commercial in Harrisonville, where it's the weekend breakfast bar. Saturday breakfast bar serving 6 a.m. until 12 noon, and the Sunday breakfast bar 8 a.m. until 10:30 a.m., all for $3.99. Nellie's Restaurant at 802 North Commercial, Harrisonville.
Single back set for the Wildcats. They fake the draw, fire the middle, it's complete, but not enough for the first down as Jamie Davis made the catch. And it's going to bring up 4th down. So once again, the Cats not running their pattern long enough to pick up the first down, and they'll have to punt the football away.
And we're just 1 minute and 10 seconds away from completing 3 quarters of scoreless football.
A little less than that.
Okay,
they're not even going to get this off. That's the end of the third quarter. So they'll switch ends. We'll be back for the final quarter after this timeout. It's 4th down and about 3. Knox gets the kickoff. Good kick. Fair catch called for and made. So the Celtics will have the football at their own 33-yard line.
So we start the 4th and final quarter of play here tonight with no score between the O'Hara Celtics and the Harrisonville Wildcats. Next week, an open date for the Cats. Their next game will be against the Raymore Peculiar Panthers. Also a West Central Conference game to be played here on their home field Friday night, October the 17th.
Celtics from the wishbone. Handoff right side. Cats close it down. Tim Dan in on the stop for the Cats. Along with Dan Davis. Pickup of a couple. Make it second down now, 8 for the Celtics. Football about the 34-yard line. Loose football. Rottinghouse manages to cover it up. So that'll bring up third down. And still about 9. And Harrisonville's defense has played some outstanding ball here in this second half. Not that they didn't do well in the first half as they shut the Celtics out, but they've looked just overpowering here in the second half thus far. The long count. Praise you too soon, guys. Got to watch the football. The long count pulls them off sides. That's going to cost them 5. So this third down will now be a 3rd and 4th situation instead of 3rd and 9.
And we have 10.5 minutes left in the game. Still no score.
From the 37. Give off the left side. There's the first down. And that moves the football out to the 45-yard line. The Cats been unable to keep O'Hara bottled up back in their own side so that when they kick the football away, the Cats can get some good field position. Cats really have not had good field position in the ball game thus far. First down, the option, they give straight ahead. Pickup of about 5 yards for the Celtics.
Celtics trying for their 3rd straight win here tonight, as last week's win over Fort Osage, 23-14. 2 weeks ago's conference win over Raymore Peculiar by a score of 36-17.
O'Hara known this year as a second half team. They've come back in the second half of every ball game and played extremely well. Again, they try the option. Rottinghouse with the football, a flag thrown, a loose football. And a big mess. They're going to say the Wildcats have the football. The penalty apparently against O'Hara, and the Wildcats will decline it. And they have the football, so maybe we've got a break. A little better field position now for the Cats. The football just about midfield.
9:28 left in the football game.
As I started to say earlier, O'Hara had outscored their opponents in the second half of almost every game this year. They came back against Fort Osage and Ray Peck. Came back to win both of those ball games after being down at halftime.
They trailed 14-0 against Fort Osage last week. Came back strong, winning it.
Now the Cats play action. Knox throws it out there. It's going to be intercepted.
Boy, oh boy. One break, and it ends with a turnover.
Jimmy wanted to get it out there for Wade Plattner, but he was throwing it too far, and he just couldn't get anything on the football. It hung up there, and O'Hara picks it off. So once again, the Cats defense is going to have to do the job. As O'Hara gets the ball back at the 35-yard line, their own 35. And we're at 8:35 left to play in the ball game. Again, there's still no score in the ball game. Chris Butler makes a stop after a very short gain. Second down, and still we'll say 10 for the Celtics.
Other games scheduled for next week, Friday, October the 10th. Clinton will be playing at Knob Noster. Excelsior Springs at Belton. Warrensburg at Ray Peck for a West Central Conference game. And Raytown playing at Grandview.
Second down, Lemons gets the call over the right side, bulls his way forward. The Cats unpile. Cass Evans in on the stop, along with Russell Hartman. Gain of about 4 or 5 yards. Make it 3rd down and 5, and once again the Cats faced with the big 3rd down coming up for the Celtics. 3rd and 5. The ball near the 40-yard line. Rottinghouse wants to throw, under pressure, underthrows it. As once again, Jared Light was all over Rottinghouse. So that's going to bring up 4th down and 5. And once again, O'Hara will attempt to punt the football. Cats have Isel and Litchfield both back deep. Get the kick away. Angles to the near side and will be downed by the Celtics. So the Cats will have it 30, about the 30-yard line, their own 30. 7 minutes exactly left to play in the ball game. They've got 70 yards to get to the goal line.
And the rest of the year for the Cats looks like this. As we mentioned, next week an open date, then Friday, October the 17th, back here at home against the Raymore Peculiar Panthers. Conference game on the 24th, Warrensburg there. Sedalia Smith Cotton on the 31st, and Fulton on November the 8th.
Single back set, that's Sean Powers. He gets the football, big hole right up the middle. Sean breaks it out near the 1st down. Good run by Sean Powers. He's got another 1st down for the Cats. Now we'll see if they can keep it going.
Cats hopefully on the move with 6.5 minutes left in the game. No score in this West Central Conference game. The Cats trying for their first conference win of the season. The O'Hara Celtics are 1-0.
Football about the 42-yard line. Powers again with a call and again with a good run, but again a penalty. We'll see what it's about, but it was thrown into the line where you expect a holding call. And boy,
yes,
how many times in a row can it happen? Every time the Cats get an offensive good play from the line of scrimmage, the second play is a penalty.
Certainly has been the case here tonight.
Last week the Cats had improved very much in the penalty department, as they played very well against the Nevada Tigers. Had a lack of penalties actually, but tonight it has really been a nemesis. The Wildcats really almost beating themselves as much as O'Hara doing a job on them. Although there's no score in the ball game. 1st and 20. Knox wants to throw. Under pressure now, he's going to be sacked.
Just have been unable to capitalize on any gains that they've made here tonight so far.
Well, and after you got the loss, you try and pick it up. You need the extra yardage and end up getting sacked, losing more yardage. That puts you back in the hole, and now field position comes back into it. It's second down and probably about 25, 26 yards to go for the Wildcats.
With just over 5 minutes left to play in this football game, still neither team able to score.
Jimmy backpedals, fires it out there. It's picked off. I don't think Jim knew who
there
that
it
was.
is. There it is. Not quite. Threw it right into the hands.
I'm not sure if Jim knew who that receiver was. He looked like he was throwing right to him.
You can see easily how that could happen. Boy, oh boy, there could be the break that could win or lose you a football game.
So it's going to bring up first. It's going to be first and goal to goal for the Celtics from about 2 yards.
4:53 left in the game. No score, but the Celtics are threatening here.
Now the Wildcats will take a timeout to discuss some things, so we'll also take a break and be right back. Reception from the 2-yard line. Give straight ahead. Lemons with the surge is not going to make it. As Butler and Harmon in on the stop along with Evans. Second down and goal to go.
Defensive unit for the Cats trying to hold on. They've got their work cut out for them right here.
Loose football.
Could it be?
Looks like they've got it back. Rottinghouse able to get back on the football.
Man.
But that's going to bring up third down and goal from about the 4-yard line.
And the agony and suspense continues.
This is nail-biting time. 3:55 left to play in the ball game. No score, but O'Hara has it third and goal from the 4.
This could be the game right here.
They give it off the right side. A good defensive play. Brian Wooten.
Oh, son!
Wooten cut right in there, cut the running back down. It's going to bring up fourth down. And now O'Hara's going to have to decide what they want to do, and they're going to take a timeout. So we'll also take a break and be right back. It's fourth down and goal to go. The defense has done a spectacular job here in the second half.
That they have.
And now the Wildcats will take a timeout. And they want to give that kicker from O'Hara a chance to think about this kick just as long as he possibly can.
Strategy plays here with 3:36 remaining in the game. Neither team being able to score. No score in this West Central Conference game. Games next week on tap. Cass Midway will be playing at Adrian, Appleton City at Archie, Miami at Drexel, Rich Hill playing at Osceola, Butler at El Dorado Springs, Lee Summit will be playing at Truman, Knob Noster playing host to the Clinton Cardinals, Excelsior Springs traveling to Belton, Warrensburg at Ray-Pac for a West Central Conference game, Center at Ruskin, Blue Springs at Fort Osage, and we're back to play.
I don't know exactly where they're going to kick this from. It's impossible to tell, but this could be for the ball game. Low snap. It's on its way. It's off.
Beautiful! Oh, son, what a play.
The Cats have held here.
Outstanding.
So they dodged the bullet, but the Cats have got to get on the scoreboard themselves. 3:29 left to play in the ball game. The Cats are 80 yards from the goal line, but they've got to get some points on the board.
Man, oh man, what super defensive plays they have made here tonight. Whatever it looked like 6 points was instanced by the Celtics, they held. Whatever it looked like a field goal was there, they held and missed. And as you mentioned, Bob, the Cats need to make the drive now.
Cats overshift their offensive line to the right side. 2 back set. Straight ahead, very little yardage.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Bob. The fans that came out and braved this damp weather here tonight certainly seen an exciting finish of a football anyway.
Well, it's been quite a ball game, and they said this game very well could give the conference championship right here.
Very easily. 2:50 remaining in the game, no score.
Knox options the left side. He's going to be cut down behind the line of scrimmage. And that's going to bring up 3rd down now on 11. As O'Hara's defense now matching the Cats' defense.
Yeah, with only 4 teams in the West Central Conference this year, every game is very important. One loss could possibly mean the conference crown.
3 wide receivers out to the near side for the Wildcats. Lone set back. Long count and a whistle. And now the Cats are going to get called for delay of game.
2:01 remaining in the football game. There's no score. It's been a bad night for the Cats, penalty-wise.
I don't think they've had an offensive series all night that hasn't involved a penalty. There has been something, I think, almost every drive that they have
Seems like
had.
it.
3rd down, 15 for the Cats.
Penalized 4 times for 25 yards in the first half of play against O'Hara's 1 time for 5 yards.
Davis, Eisel, and Flannery all split together to the near side. Wills comes in motion. They give it straight ahead on the handoff. Sean Powers, short yardage, and the Cats will have to kick the football away. The clock continuing to run, 1 minute and 45 seconds left to play in the ball game. So O'Hara is going to get the football once again.
Other games left for the Celtics this year include Kansas City Southwest, Warrensburg, St. Pius, and Van Horn.
Good snap. Jimmy steps up, pops it under a heavy rush. Short kick. Takes a little bit of a wildcat roll and then is downed at the 43-yard line. So once again, O'Hara will have very good field position.
In the West Central Conference, O'Hara 1-0. Raymore Peculiar 0-1. Harrisonville and Warrensburg playing in their first conference game. Harrisonville against the O'Hara Celtics here tonight.
Celtics come up 1st and 10. Give off the right side. Not much running room there. Looked like Cass Evans knifed in there and made the stop. And now O'Hara will take a timeout. We've got 54 seconds left on the clock.
The Harrisonville Wildcats coming into this West Central Conference game undefeated at 4-0. They've had wins so far over Belton by a score of 25-14. Edging by the Clinton Cardinals 21-20. A win over Pleasant Hill by a score of 19-6. And last week's highest scoring game so far for the season for the Cats, 30-7 over the Nevada Tigers. Next Friday night is an open date for the Cats. They will play host to the Panthers from Ray Peck Friday night, October the 17th, and that also homecoming night here in Harrisonville.
Well, let's hope in 2 weeks the weather has changed dramatically. Although we've had no rain here in the second half, we had a deluge during the first half, and everything is very wet and slick. Second down, 10. Roninghouse wants to throw, looking the far side, incomplete. Just over the outstretched fingers of his intended receiver. And I couldn't even give you a guess as to his number.
Clock stop now with 48 seconds left in the game. Still no score. Big Jim Mitchell along with Bob Van Meter. Hoping you're enjoying this Wildcat football here on Cable Channel 2, a Studio 2 production.
3rd and 10. Roninghouse again wants to go for it all.
For the
it's up
bomb.
in the air. It's complete.
Whoa.
And a first down for O'Hara. Clock is stopped while they move the chains. That ball hung up in the air a long time.
And again, the Celtics getting down close to gold.
They go straight ahead with it with the quarterback, Roninghouse. Clock running now down to 20 seconds.
Well, I tell you, whatever the outcome of this game is, Bob, here tonight, you've certainly got to give an outstanding hand to the defensive unit of the Cats. I know we've said it several times throughout the game, but they have just played superb, especially here in the second half of play.
Well, now O'Hara is going to take a timeout, and they may try and set up for a long field goal here. There's 5 seconds left on the clock, and indications are they're going to attempt a field goal. Looks to be about 25 to 35-yard field goal attempt coming up. It's on the way. It's no good.
Oh! And there's no time. No time left on the scoreboard clock.
The ball will be placed at the 10-yard line. The Wildcats will have 4 opportunities to score. Then O'Hara will have 4 opportunities. If they both tie or both miss, we'll do it again. The Cats have 3 wide receivers split to the near side. From the 10-yard line, first play of overtime. Give straight ahead.
There's a hole.
Powers down close. Inside the 5 to about the 4-yard line.
First overtime.
Play number 2 for the Cats from the 4-yard line.
No score.
They got, looks like Cass Evans in at a slot over on the far side. 2 wide receivers split to either side of the field. Cass in motion to the near side. Now a bunch of flags.
Oh,
Gosh.
man.
And it's against the Cats again. This is unbelievable.
Yes, it is. It is unbelievable. Penalties definitely have hurt the Cats here tonight.
So again, the second play for the Wildcats.
Need an extra run here without a penalty.
In motion to the near side, the give off the right side, and not much going there. Football marked out about the 7-yard line. 3rd down.
Cats holding off 2 attempts by the Celtics.
And now the Cats will take a timeout to discuss things, so let's hope they can. Crowd trying to get into the action here a little bit. Cheer the Cats on. It's third down for the Cats in overtime. Knox wants to throw, but slips down to a knee.
Man.
And that's going to bring up 4th down.
Man, oh man.
Perkasha on to attempt a field goal.
We need it here.
Knox will hold. Good snap, placed down. It's blocked. Now O'Hara will get their 4 shots at the goal line. Mike McNamara will hold for this attempt. They're going to try and kick it first time.
This is the game.
On the way, that's it. The ball game is over. And the Wildcats lose a heartbreaker.
They certainly do.
In overtime, the Cats.
Boy, I tell you, and you can look at these fans, and the stun is on their faces. It tells the story here tonight. The defensive unit for the Cats, superb playing here tonight, but it just was not enough.
Just couldn't get the offense going, and that's the story of the ball game, really. Offensively, the Cats had poor field position all night long, and they just they couldn't put any points on the board. The defense, they couldn't have played any better. They took them to overtime. The second half, they played tremendously. But it just boiled down to not being able to get the ball across the goal line, and when you analyze it down farther than that, it's got to come down to penalties.
Yes,
the
penalties.
Wildcats could not put together a drive tonight because of their penalties.
Yep, that had, as you're right, you summed it up right there. The penalties was the key to the loss here tonight. Whenever the Cats seemingly had the momentum going, would make a drive, it would always be brought back by some type of penalty. And whenever you have that, especially in a close game, as it was here tonight, it'll catch up with you. And it did in overtime here tonight for the Cats, their first defeat of the season. And boy, this opens up everything for the West Central Conference crown, Bob.
Well, it puts the Wildcats in a bad position as they have a loss along with Ray Peck. And I would say right now that, as they said, this was for the conference championship. O'Hara has beaten Ray Peck and Harrisonville. There's no way they're going to lose to Warrensburg. So it looks like they may have the conference crown wrapped up this year. But the Cats played a great ball game tonight. You can't say enough about the defense. They played tremendously.
So for the records, the O'Hara Celtics now move to an overall record of 4-1. They're 2-0, undefeated in the West Central Conference. For the Harrisonville Wildcats, their first taste of defeat for the season. They're now at 4-1 in overall and 0-1 in the West Central Conference play. Well, one thing about it, Bob, if you want to look at it on a positive note, the Cats will have a week off next week to sort of shake this off and hopefully get regrouped and be back here 2 weeks from tonight to take on another conference play against the Raymore Peculiar Panthers.
That should also be an exciting ball game. We definitely look forward to that. Hopefully the weather situation will be vastly improved. But a tough loss for the Wildcats. Anytime you lose, it's tough, but to lose it in overtime on a field goal is a real heartbreaker. But it was a good ball game other than that. Thank you all for being with us tonight. For Big Jim Mitchell, I'm